Okay, so to continue our coverage over Johnathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers, we actually pick up with Avengers number 42. Now, this book picks up right after the ending of our last video. Now, remember, at the end of our last video, Hank Pym came back from traveling in the multiverse. And when he did, he basically told the Avengers and the Illuminati that he now knows what is going out there and killing the multiverse. And he said it is the Beyonders. Now, the Beyonders are not really new to Marvel Comics. Matter of fact, the first Beyonder appeared back in the original Secret Wars back in 1984. But back then, that Beyonder was a child Beyonder. What Hank Pym is telling us right now, the Beyonders he saw out there in the multiverse are grown adult Beyonders. Now, these Beyonders are the ones that are going around destroying the multiverse. Their reason is unknown, but Hank Pym said he had basically watched them kill powerful beings left and right. And of course, they also killed the living tribunal. And we saw that at the end of our last video. But with the death of that powerful being, probably the most powerful being in all Marvel Comics, it's really huge. But right now we see our heroes finding the dead body of the living tribunal on the moon. Now, them finding the dead body of the living tribunal is 4 days in the past. So right now we are in the past. We are not in the present moment. And so now we know 4 days ago, they found the dead body of the living tribunal on the moon. Now, staying in the past, we now pick up 3 days ago in the past, and we pick up on Nation X. And of course, Nation X is the home of the X-Men. Now, with that being said, though, we do pick up with Cannonball and Sunspot meeting up with Cyclops. Now, remember, at this point in Marvel Comics, Cyclops is basically like Magneto. This dude is a bad guy. But either way, the reason why our two friends are coming here to meet up with Cyclops is because Cyclops is holding on to something. Now, we already know what he's holding on to. He's holding on to the Phoenix Egg. And of course, he plans on using the Phoenix Egg to hopefully save Earth, or really to save the mutant race, but let the humans die. But either way, it's him saying, I am also making my own plans to keep me and my people alive. And so basically, this book is showing us we have a lot of moving pieces around the universe and the main Marvel universe. Now, we do pick up 2 days before the present day, and we pick up with Black Panther and Reed Richards. Now, you have our two heroes right now showing us that they were able to create something very, very powerful and good. And when I say powerful, I mean that it can actually withstand the death of the universe, because we see Reed and Black Panther being able to create a life raft. Now, this life raft is going to be very important because now it gives the heroes the ability to live in this life raft even after their universe is destroyed. And so they do feel very proud of themselves. But here comes another problem. And matter of fact, this problem is brought up by Val Richards because she says, okay, so you fixed that problem, but now you have a new one. Who are you going to pick to actually live on that life raft? Because you can't put the entire Earth population on that life raft. You have to pick certain people to live on there, and those certain people have to be able to help you keep the human race going even after the death of this universe. So who are you going to pick? Now, we do pick up 1 day before the present day, and we pick up with Smasher, Cannonball, and Sunspot. Now, remember, Smasher is kind of a new character in Marvel Comics. Not the name, but the character who took up the name. But the Smasher, this one right here, is the first human to be part of the Imperial Guards. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the Imperial Guards are great warriors from the Shi'ar Empire. empire, a space empire. And usually if you're part of the Imperial Guard, you're protecting the king or queen of the empire. And so with that being said, when it comes to Smasher, she is one of the Imperial Guards. And matter of fact, she gets a call from her leader, which is Gladiator. Now at this point in Marvel Comics, he is the one kind of leading, or I want to say king, but not really the king. So I'll say he is the current leader of the Shi'ar Empire. But right now he's calling up Smasher to tell Smasher, you need to report back to us right now. Come back to us at this moment, because we have a big mission that is going to happen very soon. Now, of course, to Smasher, she thinks that her boss, her leader, and the rest of her army, they're nowhere near Earth. She thinks that right now they're back home in the Shi'ar Empire. And so she is very concerned with him demanding her to come back to the Empire in a very, very quick moment. Because kind of like, you're across the universe, it might take me some time. And then he tells her, no, we are actually very close than you think we are. And so you better get to us right now, because things are about to pop off. And this is Johnathan Hickman reminding us what happened in the earlier stories. And let me explain here in a minute. And the reason why I say in a minute, because we have to jump over to the Ultimate Marvel Universe. Now remember, in one of our earlier videos, when it came to the Ultimate Marvel Universe, they only got involved in this storyline because they're part of the Marvel multiverse. On top of that is Johnathan Hickman continuing his work on one character, and that character is Reed Richards from the Ultimate Marvel Universe, who goes by the name The Maker, because he was good, then bad, but then good again. But at the same time, he could be bad again. Now, of course, The Maker has been protecting the Ultimate Marvel Universe from all different incursions across the multiverse. But of course, in one of our earlier videos, when it came to Ultimate Reed Richards, he ran into the Cabal. Now remember, in another video, the Cabal was trapped on a Doom Earth, thanks to Black Panther and Black Bolt, and they were supposed to die with that Doom Earth from a different universe. But the Cabal was able to escape into another universe, another Earth, and that was the Ultimate Marvel Universe. And so basically right now, the Cabal, which is Thanos, the Black Order, Black Swan, and Namor, they're all staying right now on the Ultimate Marvel Universe. But we know that sooner or later, they are going to make their own moves to hopefully come back to the main Marvel Universe to get revenge against our heroes. But that right there is down the road. But getting back into the big problem with the Shi'ar Empire, let me explain what is the big deal with them. And the big deal all comes down to them doing research, because they realized that a bunch of suns across the universe were dying too early, and that right there concerned them. And so they continue to do more research, and they come to find out the universe is dying. But the reason why the universe is dying because of all the different incursions. And of course, they realize if they want to save their empire, if they want to save their universe, they have to get rid of one single planet. And that planet is Earth. Because remember, Johnathan Hickman told us when it comes to incursions, it's when two Earths from different universes are about to crash into one another. And when they do, both universes die with those two Earths. And so basically, it's the Shi'ar Empire and Gladiator saying, we now know what we must do to save our universe. If we go ahead and blow up our Earth, we'll save our universe. So let's go ahead and do that. That is our next step right there. Now, of course, when it comes to our heroes of Earth, they have no idea that this is about to happen. All they know is they're trying to find different ways to save the multiverse, to save their universe, to save their Earth. And so right now, they have no idea that the Shi'ar Empire is on their way to basically blow up the Earth, to save the entire universe. And so with that, we pick up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course, right now, they're just out there in space trying to fix their ship up. But that is the moment they get some kind of message. And this message tells them and everyone else who's out there in space to stay clear of this sector, because what they're going to do is use a powerful weapon to wipe out the Earth completely in one single shot. And so with that, it's basically the Guardians of the Galaxy going to the Avengers, going to the Illuminati and saying, hey guys, so you're about to die because the Shi'ar Empire wants to blow up the Earth. And that right there is very, very huge. Now, we do jump over to New Avengers number 31. Now, when we do, we actually pick up with the Black Priests. Now, remember, the Black Priests were a group of creatures that were going around destroying Earths in the multiverse, and that did scare the Illuminati. But when 8 months passed by and Sunspot made the Multiverse Avengers to travel the multiverse to learn to see why the multiverse is dying, well, of course, they ran into the Black Priest. And they come to find out the leader of the Black Priest was no other than Doctor Strange. But you had Doctor Strange tell the Multiverse Avengers that the Black Priests were only blowing up Earths that were going to die sooner or later, meaning that they only had a couple more years to live before they actually died. And the reason why they blew up those Earths was because to hopefully stop the death of the multiverse. But of course, that did not work at all. But either way, though, in our earlier videos, the Black Priests and also the Multiverse Avengers agreed to work together to stop the Ivory Kings. But they have no idea who the Ivory Kings are. And so with that, they have no idea the Ivory Kings are the Beyonders. And so these two groups are working together. Now, picking up with the Black Priests, they do find a door, and that door leads into the Library of Worlds. Now, the Library of Worlds was made by the Beyonders as a way to store all kinds of information they learn about different universes across the multiverse. And the Library of Worlds is protected by the Black Swans. And so right now, when the Black Priests find the door that leads into the Library of Worlds, they see it's guarded by the Black Swans. Now, of course, the Black Priests were able to take out most of the Black Swans that were guarding the door, but one got away. And that right there is concerning to Doctor Strange. Now, once Doctor Strange is able to open the door that leads into the Library of Worlds, you do have Doctor Strange tell us something very important. And that something is that basically each room has its own effect. That means each section of the library, it does a different thing to affect you. Now, you won't know what the effect is until you actually walk into that room. But of course, each room has a different kind of effect. On top of that, each room holds a different type of information or different kinds of information about the multiverse. And so with that, it's Doctor Strange telling us how big this library could possibly be because it holds so much information. But when they enter into one room, they do find a Black Swan. And of course, with Doctor Strange, he wants to get rid of that Black Swan. But when he tries to use a spell, he can no longer speak. And that right there is very huge. And that is the moment you have this Black Swan show Doctor Strange a book. In that book, there is a page that says you are in the quiet room. Now, with him being in the quiet room, that means there is no sound. That is huge because Doctor Strange, his most powerful spells require him to speak. But if he can't speak, he can't use those spells. That is why I said earlier when Doctor Strange told us that basically each part of the library has its own effect, this is this room effect, the quiet room. There is no sound, and that hurts Doctor Strange, especially when he finds out this was a trap, because when he looks up, there are a bunch of Black Swans getting ready to attack him. Now, it's not like he's basically powerless. He can still fight. He does have spells that he can use by just using his hands to make signs with his hands. But the problem is, though, those spells are not as strong as the ones he uses when he speaks them. And so right now it's him trying his best to fight against an army of black swans. But of course, he does not stand a chance. And so he is defeated. And this is where things get even crazier, because we have no idea who the actual leader of the Black Swans are. I mean, at first, you would think that possibly it would be the Ivory Kings, the Beyonders, because the Black Swans are the ones who are protecting the world of Liberia. But of course, they're not the leaders of the Black Swan. And so you actually have the Black Swans take Doctor Strange to meet their leader. And that is the moment we come to find out their leader is no other than Doctor Doom. And it's kind of like, yo, what is going on? How is Doctor Doom the leader of the Black Swans? And you would think that we would get some kind of storyline to tell us how in the world Doctor Doom became the leader of the Black Swan, but we don't. But either way, you do have Doctor Doom tell us that he basically made a religion a long time ago, and it grew to this right here, the Black Swans. And that's practically it. But either way, you have Doctor Doom tell us and tell Doctor Strange to remind us that he also has the Molecule Man. And remember, the Molecule Man can warp reality. He's a very, very powerful reality warping person. And so with him right now, working alongside Doctor Doom, you have the Molecule Man said, everything is falling apart, but everything is coming together. And when all these things come together, is to work together to stop a god. And it's kind of like, what do you mean there, Molecule Man? What do you mean a god is coming? But before he's actually able to explain what god is coming, that is the moment we pick up with Thor, Hyperion, and Starbrand. Because remember, they're part of the Multiverse Avengers, and they have been traveling the multiverse to learn why the multiverse is dying. But of course, they do run into something very, very bad. And that bad is, of course, the Beyonders. And so right now in our next video is going to be Thor, Hyperion, and Starbrand fighting against the Beyonders. And this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.